Hey, this is Lorena, and I wanted to do kind of like a quick video on how to make bias tape. I wanted to start some piecing because I want to piece more this year, because last year kind of was a sucky year for me. I didn't do a lot of piecing because, as well, you know, this life takes over. And so I feel like a lot of you love piecing, and I haven't been doing a lot of it. And so this year I kind of want to plan and get more excited about this year and piecing. Is because this year I'm going to try, I'm not promising because sometimes my life takes over, but I'm going to try as much as I possibly can. Once a month, make a quilt top. This beautiful quilt top. Now, join Lorena's Quilting Facebook group. I already downloaded the pattern size, how much fabric you need, what colors you could be. I even put a kind of piece of paper that has the schematic so you can color in what colors you think would work good for your quilt top. I went ahead and I downloaded a different colored PDF because I kind of liked it, but then I'm using my Still Petite fabric that I still haven't finished using to do this quilt block. Now, I also posted that if you do 4, you're going to go be with me in making the quilt top. But I have the pattern for 1 and the size and everything for 1 on Lorena's Quilt Facebook group already downloaded in a PDF for you to download into your computer so you can download it for you. I'm trying, people. I'm trying. But in the midst of that, you're going to have to learn how to make this beautiful stem bias tape. Now, I do have to put leaves on here, and I will probably at the end of finishing this quilt do a tutorial on how to applique the leaves on here when I'm finishing the quilt, okay? But at this current time, I wanted to show you how to make these bias tape with or without these little wonderful, with or without these wonderful tools that I love. Tools, I'm a gadget person. With or without these wonderful tools. So, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick video on how to make the tape because you need to have these ready before you put the block together. And I'm going to upload soon, probably like either Saturday or Sunday or sometime soon within this week, God willing, of how to make this beautiful tulip block. Isn't it beautiful? So here's a just random piece of fabric that I'm going to use to make this bias tape. What is bias? For you to do some stems that curve around, you need the fabric to be very flexible. Now, if it's just a straight line, you don't need to cut the stems in a bias, but if you want them to curve or arc or do different movements, you need to do bias tape. So, bias, it's when the fabric, like when the fabric has stretch. So here you see the fabric has some stretch, and then here when I pull the fabric in this direction, the fabric has very little stretch. Now you saw how it stretched in this direction. When you go in this direction, there is an extreme amount of stretch, and that's considered the bias of your fabric. That's why sometimes triangle pieces, they are on the bias. So they stretch on you and they can warp your quilt. And so that's something you consider when you're doing half square triangles. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about making bias tape. So here it's about the stretch of the fabric. Here you have an extreme amount of stretch, and they say this is where you want to make your stems out of because then it can flex and move because it has some flexing on it. So I'm going to turn this into a half square triangle like that. And I'm going to get my rotary cutter and cut. You with me? Cut from here to here. My bias tape. Just like that. And so this is where you have the most flexibility. And that's what you want. And no flexibility. No. Flexible? Not flexible. I kind of want thinner ones, so I'm going to use a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to cut myself several of these so that you can see how you can do this. To make bias tape, I wet the bejiggers out of it. Bejiggers. I wet it a lot with, this is what I use, Best Press. Wet it a lot. Let it soak a little bit so the fabric kind of soak a little bit. And I'm going to show you how you can do this without these beautiful, sweet little tools, okay? I already have my iron on. It's already getting hot. I turn it a little bit here, and then I turn it a little bit here, and I start it, and I widen it a little bit. Then I get my iron and I hold it. And then as I start to stretch and as I start to pull the iron in, I start making my stem. Pull right here. It makes that kind of curve in better. Come on. And pull. This kind of, what kind of video is this? Seeing the lady struggle. This is the truth. Come on, iron. And then just hold your iron to the piece. And feed it through with your needle. Then you can turn it around and you'll see the fabric on this side. Just like that. And then you have it here. Now sometimes it does warp on you. You can go ahead and just stretch the fabric and clear it. And then I'm going to go ahead and pin this right here and then start my iron. Make sure that this is even so that when it pulls the bias tape, it turns in evenly. Just like that. Do you see how my nail is melting? Then you can turn this. Didn't have enough time to have this on the iron here. I really do recommend that you hold for 3 seconds as you pull to make a consistent bias tape, just like that. And there's your bias tape. The neat thing about this now this is great like if you want to do a decorative element or something. So this is a bigger one and this is a smaller one. So you can make these in variations of sizes. So you do have a variation of sizes that you can make your bias tape. I believe, and this is called a number 12. It has a yellow. This is a 1/2 inch bias. So it's pretty good size. Let me show you. It's a 1/2 inch. I also have, I think this is a 1/4. You can make bias tape that's a size 1/4. And this one, I believe it's 3/8. So this is a little bit bigger than a 1/4. Now, the neat thing about them is these metal pieces do get hot when you have them on your iron. That's why they have these cute little handles so you can go ahead and just pull it through. And because the tape is under here, it won't get hot. But if you're making a lot of these, it does get hot in the metal, so be careful. You can burn yourself. The neat thing about these, they make these so easy to make. So here you can see that I made myself a whole bunch of stems. And I just recommend that when you make the stems, that's the 4th, if you do it consistently, it looks straight. Like you can see that it's not as straight as it could be. So yeah, these are really easy to make. I use these a lot for hand applique. When I am finishing the block, I will show you how to hand applique the stems down because they need to be hand stitch down, and also how to hand applicate the leaves of this beautiful little quilt, tulip quilt block. I'm really excited about this year, and I'm going to try real hard to get some really great videos up for you. And yeah, so make yourself some really cool bias tape. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please join Lorena's Facebook group, Lorena's Quilting Facebook group, if you want the measurements to, or the instructions to the pattern. And I can't wait to show you the video on how to make the pattern, because I've been working my butt off. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? See you later. Be keeping an eye out on that quilt block. All right, bye.